Hey, how's it going? Yeah, in this video I'm going to show you how to stitch multiple images together to make one panoramic image, and we're going to be doing the main part of this in Photoshop, but I will also be running through a little bit of my process on Lightroom and how I like to get the images ready for this process. Now this is very simple and it's only a couple of clicks, so let's jump into the computer and yeah, I hope you find this useful. Okay, so I wanted to explain a little bit why I prefer to shoot multiple images rather than using the panorama mode on my camera, and the reason is I prefer to work with raw images, and when you shoot with the panorama image on my cameras at least, they make a JPEG file which I find less detailed and of lower quality when you go back in to edit the image. Also, you have a lot more control when you're shooting each frame individually than when you have the panorama. On lots of cameras I find when you shoot the panoramic image, sometimes you have to continue much further than you'd like to, and sometimes you can't quite get the full image you want. It seems to be like a set distance so that the panorama mode will allow you to cover. On top of that, another benefit of shooting single images and stitching them together later is you end up with a much higher resolution image because you're putting together multiple images rather than just taking one sweeping photo, and you'll find that you can you get a lot of detail. You can really zoom into each individual frame and get a nice clear picture when you do that, which okay, yeah, so first off, what we're going to do is create an album and add the images we're going to be using today into that album. So yeah, we're going to be working with raw files, so let's drop them into this album. Alright, yeah, so now why I start in Lightroom and not Photoshop is simply because this is my preferred program to use while editing the images. So maybe we can just quickly throw on one of my editing presets. Let's have a look through. Looks good. Oh, actually, I really like that one. It's a little bit strong, but I mean, we can reduce we can make it a little less harsh in a moment. Let me just check for anything else. That one looks much better, doesn't it? Alright, yeah, so this looks like a pretty good starting point. I am going to reduce the shadows a little bit and lift the blacks up. It is quite dark, but I do quite like that I like that high contrast look on this image. I think it works quite nicely. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the colours. So let's see what happens if we boost the purples a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit interesting, isn't it? Maybe reduce the blues somewhat. Okay. Make it a little warmer. Yeah, that's fine. I might increase the clarity a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's fine for what we're doing today. Now, something that you should know in case you don't is in Lightroom you can copy the editing settings, which is great for work like this where you want all the images to kind of match and work as one image eventually. So yeah, you come over to here, click photo in the top left corner and then just copy edit settings, and you can go through to the rest of the images in this series and hold Ctrl V paste and just drop that edit that you've done on the first image onto all 5 of the images, or however many you're working with. So let's just quickly go through and drop that edit onto each of these images. Alright, so yeah, that's looking pretty good. I like how these images are looking now. So our next step is to open them up in Photoshop. Okay, yeah, so Control Shift E and our images should open in Photoshop. Now this might take a few seconds. So alright, yeah, so here we are. We have all the images opened up in Photoshop. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what you want is the images open all at the same time. Then all you have to do is hit File in the top left, scroll down here to Automate, then click Photo Merge. Okay, and this is a really simple way to stitch images together. It's just a couple of clicks. So hit Photo Merge, and we'll leave the layout in Auto today. And if you have all of your files open in Photoshop already, you click Add Open Files. Okay, we can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, and then just hit OK. And this will take a couple of seconds, but Photoshop will now take those images and merge them together for you, lining it up as best it can. Alright, perfect. Yeah, so here we have our merged image. Now this looks pretty good straight away, so we don't have to do too much to this, I don't think, which is excellent. Okay, so what I always start by doing is merge the layers together, and I'm going to close the original single shots just to help my computer run a little bit more smoother. Alright, then I'm going to hit the crop tool and move this in a little bit. I'm going to try and create try and make somewhat of a nice composition, keeping in mind our rule of thirds. Yeah, I think that's okay, so we can hit it here. Now you can see that we have some areas of the image at the top up here, in the top corners in particular, where there is some detail missing, and we also have an area in the bottom right that we're going to want to edit. So what I'm going to do is use the patch tool here to select the area that we want to get rid of. So this is like a little handrail here, and all our foreground is pretty much blacked out, so we can just drag it across and copy that area and check out it looks okay. So yeah, that looks fine down there. Now this might be a little bit trickier for the sky, but I'm basically going to try and do the exact same thing, try and line up the clouds the best I can, find an area that works in the area we're trying to cover. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And you will need to redo some areas won't look particularly good. You don't want to just copy too much so it's obviously visible what you've done. You want to try and hide it a little bit. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to quickly rush through this. Normally I would spend a little bit more time doing this. I think I'm going to crop down a little bit. I don't want to go along the entire top of the image. Okay, crop about there. Okay, now just fix this top right quickly, and let's see if we can just select the area and then copy some of the clouds from lower down in the image. See how that looks. Not too bad. I'm going to get rid of this because it does look a little bit obvious that I've copied it. Yeah, maybe from here. A little bit uneven. Let's try again with this section up here. So let's look for somewhere with a bit of a lighter blue and still a little bit of cloud detailing. Alright, yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now we've fixed up our missing parts, and yeah, I'm quite happy with this image. I'm going to throw a couple more edits on top. I like to do a little bit cleaning up on Photoshop, but this is basically our finished image. Alright, so yeah, here's our finished image, and I am quite happy with the outcome. I think this image looks pretty cool, and I do enjoy making panoramic images like this one. So overall, I'm very happy with the results. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like stitching photographs together like this? Maybe you found this useful, and if you hit that like button, I would be very grateful. If you found this video useful, please also let me know, because I am trying new things on this channel and I'd love to get some feedback. So yeah, how to stitch photographs together using Photoshop and Lightroom. See you next time. Bye bye.